I went against what everybody said I should do, dropped out of college, and pursued starting a business, and ended up making $1 million by the time I was 23 after having a baby at 20. And today, I'm gonna break it down and give you guys exactly what I did in order to accomplish that. Welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, I'm Emily, and we talk about how to have a wildly successful business without sacrificing your freedom or happiness. Now, while most people want to know what I did tactically to build my business and step by step how I did it, that is not actually what I think will lead to your success. There's a lot of successful 7-figure, 8-figure, 9-figure entrepreneurs out there who tactically do things different. But there are specific things that they are all doing, including myself, to build a 7-figure business. And that is what we're gonna walk through today. So before we dive right in, I wanna make sure that if you are looking for other business owners' step-by-step template, blueprint, play-by-play what they did, that is actually going to delay your success. And instead, looking at the themes and the principles and the elements they implemented in their business and then did it their own way. Before I share with you the strategies and how I went from zero to a $1 million plus business, I want to give a quick overview of the story and the path that led me there. There are a lot of takeaways and key strategies and principles that I executed throughout this journey that are really valuable. For me, this started out using an existing strength. One thing I was already really good at was helping people and supporting people with various admin tasks, assistant type tasks. It's something that I naturally did really well. So I jumped in online and started helping people as a virtual assistant, doing anything and everything from calendar organization, calendar management, email management, you name it, I was doing it. And the key takeaway from this is not go be a virtual assistant. It's that I leveraged a strength of mine and jumped in with 2 feet to start getting experience and start getting leverage and just building my business. And it was a time of saying yes to a lot of opportunities and a lot of different things. Now, the other thing that I had going for me at this time was I had gotten pregnant with my first, and I was 19 in college, and I knew that if I could make this happen, which I knew I would be able to, and I had a why behind what I was doing, that I wanted and needed to continue to work and bring in money for our family, but I didn't want to have my baby and then have to leave him all day. So I had a why. I had a bigger why when I started my business, which was make money from my house. And so that's what really catapulted me in and gave me a reason to do what I was doing. That initial experience, which was about 3 to 6 months of doing virtual assistant work, I had so many clients, so many opportunities. It wasn't hard for me to get clients once I really started mastering the different things I was doing. And I would leverage experience with one client and then I'd be able to get the next client doing it. So it's really not hard to start a business. Find your strengths and find what you're naturally good at. Say yes in the beginning to a lot of things. And then through that experience, you'll start to realize what you want to do more of. So for me, with these clients, I had some opportunities in my virtual assistant roles where I could start doing Facebook ads and start helping them with their marketing. And that was the first time I'd ever helped with marketing and done Facebook ads, and my first kind of introduction to that. So through that, I quickly learned I love marketing and I'm really good at it. This is really easy for me to accomplish things and get results and put all this together compared to most people. So I started to go in that direction and I started specializing in marketing for those clients and running the ads. And that was the start of my marketing company today. So this led to the decision of niching down and only helping business owners with marketing and Facebook ads. It was still all just me doing it. I was writing the copy, I was running the ads, I was creating the strategy, and I was working with clients doing this. And I stayed on that path until I became fully booked out with clients, doing that all on my own. And it was at that point, it was about 2 years into starting my business, and I had my second. And I realized I have kind of two choices here. I can raise my prices and continue on this path and max out the number of clients that I personally work with, or I'm gonna have to build a team. I made the decision to start building a team. And as I did that and I was able to expand our reach and our impact, the company started to skyrocket. And we quickly doubled in size and grew very fast. And within a year from then was making $1 million and now over $3 million a year with 18 people on our team. So I'm gonna walk you through some key strategies that are relevant to everybody, no matter what type of business, no matter what type of experience that you have, that you can implement to get your business to go from where it's at today, even if it's at 0 to 7 figures. So one of the first things that I did really well, and I don't think I was intentionally doing this, but looking back, myself and any successful business owner that I look at, their business does this well, is leveraging your gifts. When you start a business and you're at the beginning and you have to figure out how to create that success for yourself, and you don't have a team and you don't have a big investment that you can go bring all these experts in, you need to be leveraging your gifts, because you need to be doing what is already naturally easy for you. We all have gifts that we were born with and gifts that we've developed through experience, whatever your experience is up until today. So I leverage my gifts, and then also in the beginning of my business, I said yes a lot. And you're going to hear a lot of people out there give advice to business owners and tell you, don't say yes. Make sure you focus and make sure you say no and you stay really focused. And I do believe that. That comes a little bit later. But the beginning of building a business is about saying yes and trying a bunch of things until you figure out what works. And then once you figure out what starts to work, you can start saying no, and you can start getting more picky with the clients and the customers and what you work on. But in the beginning, you need to be trying and moving forward and doing a lot of things so that you can make that progress and momentum. The next thing I did well was, once I found that thing, which was for me, marketing and Facebook ads, I did make the very intentional decision to focus on that. And to actually then start saying no to people who still wanted me to do the virtual assistant work and the other things, because then trying to do everything would take away from my focus on marketing. So when that happened, I was able to really focus, and my business scaled very well because of what I was saying no to. But it's got to happen in those phases of first saying yes, first figuring out what the specialty should be, then you can say no and narrow it down. The next thing I did really well that for sure got me to 7 figures, there's no way I would be at a 7-figure business today without doing this, is I hired support. And when I hit those points that either I knew somebody else could do this better and so much faster than me, one of those things was writing copy. Like, I was writing the copy for our clients and I knew I am not a copywriter. Like, I can do this, but it takes me a really long time. Or when I knew we wouldn't be able to take on any more clients if I didn't get support, or maybe we weren't even at the place where we worked fully maxed out, but I knew, well, before we hit that place, I need to invest in support. I hired that help. And I wasn't afraid to delegate. I wasn't afraid to invest in my business. And I wasn't afraid to even mess up doing that, to make a decision. I mean, there are countless poor hiring decisions and mistakes that I made along the way because I had never done it before. So of course I'm going to make mistakes, but I would 100% not be where I am today if I didn't make those mistakes and I didn't learn along the way. And so I really was able to operate my business from the mindset of not scarcity and lack, but trusting and knowing that I would do whatever it took to create that success. And even if that meant I made a mistake once and I wasted some money, I would learn from that. And so it wasn't really a waste of money. It wasn't really going backwards. So hiring that help and not trying to wear all the hats in my business forever. Again, I think there is a season for that in the very beginning stages, which I recorded a video on how to start a business with $0 if you want to listen to that video. But there's a stage where you have to wear a lot of hats. And then there hits a point where if you don't invest in support, your business is not going to grow. And you're going to stay in that same place. And you're also probably going to be miserable because nobody wants to wear all the hats. Like, that's not very free in our business. The other thing is I invested in support in the form of mentorship or advice or learning how to do something. So when I started building my team, I had no idea how to build a team. I had never done that. I was young. I was 22 years old when I started hiring people, and I had never had employees. Like, I did not know how to do that. And I recognized very quickly, okay, if I'm going to do this, I need somebody who has way figured this out to help me. And that's when I hired my very first mentor. But this can come up in so many different areas of your business. Like, if somebody else has mastered what you're trying to accomplish, you will get there so much faster and easier if you leverage somebody who's already figured it out. But the other thing that I have never done, and I also see a lot of people make this mistake, is I never made a hiring decision, whether it was a team member, a coach, a program, something I was going to hire and spend money and invest on from the place of, this is going to solve my problem fully without me. This is going to be a shiny magic bullet. And if I just do this, if I just hire this person or hire this mentor, then all my dreams and all my goals will come true. You can't look at investing in your business, any part of your business, as a one-size-fits-all magic pill, because it doesn't exist. And so when you look at and you get to that place of investing in support, whether that's a coach or a program or a team member or a contractor or an assistant, you have to understand that's just one piece of the puzzle. Also showing up as a leader and improving your process and your offer and your business and working in collaboration with that person or company that you hire is the key. Another really key thing that I did throughout this journey of 0 to 7 figures, and really this helped me once I got to 7 figures to continue growing, is staying really open and flexible and adaptable to the needs that I would have to change in my business. One of the biggest mistakes I see people making is they will get really stuck on something that worked. So it's like, I sold this offer a couple of times, and so I know it should sell 100 of times and hundreds more times, and really stay in like, well, it worked. I know it's going to work. It's got to be this way. When in reality, society and the economy and your audience and people as a whole are always shifting and evolving and changing. And so as a business, if we say stay stuck in the same mindset and the same rhythm and the same routine, I guess, and we don't adapt and we don't listen to our audience and listen to our leads and our customers, we will fall behind. And if you observe any successful company, like if you look at the big companies like Apple, Amazon, one of the biggest things you'll recognize in them is how adaptable they are to the needs and the wants of their customers or potential customers. So throughout my journey, I've always made sure to stay very connected to my audience and to my customers. I'm at a point currently in my business where I don't work in the day-to-day. I have an incredible team who handles the delivery for our clients, and I'm not in that day-to-day execution anymore. Now, I've made sure that through that transition, I still stay connected because I always want to have a pulse on our clients and their feedback and what they're going through and their frustrations and their desires and their problems, because that drives my content, That is what fuels my inspiration. That's what drives when we have shifts and changes in our offers. So I do that through doing bonus calls where it's like, show up, hang out, ask me anything. There's different ways you can do that, but I do think in that journey of growing your business, and once you do start to build a team, to remove yourself from the day-to-day, it's really important that you don't get so disconnected you can no longer be the visionary of your company. And one of the final strategies or principles that I have executed to get to where I am today is finding the harmony and the balance between being adaptable to changes and pivoting my business when needed. And sometimes that's looked like shutting down an offer or completely changing a different offer or changing our pricing, different things that were required to keep the company in a healthy, growing place while also still serving our clients and what they want, while also having harmony with focus, because you can go too far on either side of that spectrum. You could go too far on constantly changing things and adjusting things. You also can go too far in being rigid in a lack of changes and a lack of adapting and shifting. You don't want to lose focus to where everything you do is like being done 50% because you're jumping to the next thing, but you also don't want to stay stuck doing the same thing every single day. So finding that harmony and that middle ground between the two is really important. And one of the ways that you can do that is, number one, make sure you have that pulse on your audience. If you are new and you don't even have customers yet, you can go find ideal customers. You can go find an audience. You can talk to them. You can gather insight about what their frustrations, their dreams, their desires are, and let that drive your content and how you connect with them. And then number two, any project, anything you're working on in your business, make sure and question, is it going to move the needle to my bigger goals? Or is this just noise? Is this really not going to make an impact and move the needle or not? And then the final thing that I believe has 100% contributed to my success of going from 0 to 7 figures is embodying our core company value of strive to be better than yesterday. And growth is my number one personal core value. And I think when you show up as a leader and in a company with the intention that no matter what, we're going to strive to be better than yesterday. Our delivery, our marketing, our relationships, our communication, my leadership, our team, our processes, all of it. I can look back at last month, at last year, at 3 months ago, and guarantee that there has been growth because we're constantly creating the environment and the energy to reflect and improve. As we wrap up this video, I want you to do one thing for me. I gave a lot of intel, a lot of golden nuggets in this video, and I always say information, we don't need more information. There's plenty of information out there and noise and people trying to tell you what you should and shouldn't do. I want to make sure that leaving this video, you have 1 to 3 things and ideas, a project you're going to execute, a shift you're going to make, something that you're going to actually go bring into your current business, your current life, and you're going to go execute it. And finally, if you want all my tips on how to scale your Facebook ads, you will love my video all about how to scale Facebook ads in 2023.